Have you ever thought of focusing on yourself, but then thought it was selfish? Or have you ever felt guilty about doing something that makes you happy? Many people tend to put others before themselves and think it as selfish to focus on their own needs. But taking care of your mental health is not selfish. It's essential, and focusing on yourself helps you become a better friend, family member, co-worker, and significant other. So today we want to talk about the importance of focusing on yourself and why you should stop trying to change people. Number 1. Trying to change someone is not only an uphill battle, it's often a losing one. We all have different personalities, and trying to change someone's personality is almost impossible. It's not to say that people can't change. They absolutely can. However, they need to be the ones who want to change. If someone wants to change for you, that's a whole different story. But you can't force someone to change for you. Trying to change someone is an uphill battle, because it's very difficult to change a person that has fundamental personality. You may try to convince yourself that if you try hard enough, you can change them. But deep down, you know it's probably a losing battle. Instead of putting your energy into trying to change someone who doesn't want to change, you should focus on accepting them for who they are. Trying to change someone else is not only an uphill battle, but it can also be a losing one. Trying to change someone is like trying to change the past. The past cannot be changed, and neither can someone's fundamental personality. Instead of trying to change someone, you should accept them for who they are. By accepting someone for who they are, you are showing them that you care about them no matter what. You are showing them that you will be there for them no matter what. This is the best way to show someone that you care about them. Number 2. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Just because you're trying to focus on yourself doesn't mean you should settle for less than you deserve in your relationships. If you're in a relationship with someone who isn't treating you the way you deserve, it's time to move on. You don't need to waste your time with someone who isn't willing to give you what you need. There are plenty of fish in the sea. So don't settle for someone who isn't right for you, just because you feel guilty about focusing on yourself. You deserve someone who treats you well, someone who makes you happy, and someone who is willing to work through your problems together. So don't settle for less than you deserve in your relationships. You deserve the best. And by focusing on yourself, you will be able to see what you deserve and what you don't. When you know what you deserve, don't be afraid to ask for it. And if someone isn't willing to give it to you, then move on. You deserve someone who is willing to fight for you and your happiness. Number 3. You cannot be in service of two masters. What does this quote mean? It means you can't serve two masters at once. You can't focus on yourself and other people at the same time. You must choose one or the other. Why? Because when you focus on yourself, you're trying to make your life better. You're trying to make yourself happier. And when you focus on other people, you're trying to make them happy. These two things are not always compatible. Sometimes you have to choose between your own happiness and someone else's happiness. You can't do both at the same time. For example, let's say your friend asks you to do something that you don't want to do. If you say yes, you're making them happy, but you're sacrificing your own happiness. If you say no, you're making yourself happy, but you're making them unhappy. You see, sometimes you have to choose between your own happiness and someone else's happiness. So if you're trying to focus on yourself, you can't be in service of two masters. You have to choose one or the other. Which one will you choose? Your own happiness or someone else's happiness? Let us know in the comments below. Number 4. Don't let anyone dull your sparkle. Have you ever met someone who was so bright, so full of energy and enthusiasm that it was contagious? That's the kind of person you want to be. You want to be someone who makes others feel good just by being around them. But sometimes people can dull your sparkle. Maybe you have a friend who is always negative, or maybe you have a coworker who is always belittling you. Whatever it is, these people are draining your energy and bringing you down. If you're going to focus on yourself, you can't let anyone dull your sparkle. You have to protect your energy and surround yourself with people who make you feel good about yourself. When you focus on yourself, you want to make sure that you're surrounded by positive people who support you and make you feel good about yourself. Negative people will drain your energy and bring you down. So if you're going to focus on yourself, you have to cut out the negative people in your life. This doesn't mean you have to end all your friendships with negative people. It just means that you need to limit the time you spend with them and be careful not to let them drag you down. Number 5. Use the extra time to do something nice for yourself. When you focus on yourself, you have more time for the things that are important to you. Maybe you want to start a new hobby, or maybe you want to spend more time with your family. Whatever it is, use the extra time to do something nice for yourself. By doing something nice for yourself, you're showing yourself that you care. You're showing yourself that you're worth the effort. This can be a powerful motivator for making positive changes in your life. When you focus on yourself, you have more time for the things that are important to you. Maybe you want to start a new hobby, or maybe you want to spend more time with your family. Whatever it is, use the extra time to do something nice for yourself. By doing something nice for yourself, you're showing yourself that you care. You're showing yourself that you're worth the effort. This can be a powerful motivator for making positive changes in your life. The bottom line is that focusing on yourself isn't selfish. It's necessary. We all need to focus on ourselves from time to time in order to keep our mental health in check. We all need to take some time away from the stress of our lives in order to recharge. If you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed, it's perfectly okay to take some time for yourself. In fact, it's necessary, so don't feel guilty about it. Taking some time for yourself is not selfish. It's necessary. We all need to take a step back and focus on ourselves every now and then. So go ahead. Take a break and do something that makes you happy. You deserve it. 2025 is here, which means that many of us are setting new goals and making resolutions for ourselves. It's the perfect opportunity for self-improvement and personal growth. But it also brings up a lot of insecurities and triggers. You see, we all want to improve our lives, but we tend to focus on what we dislike about ourselves instead of what we like. This is why most New Year's resolutions fail. We are trying to fix the parts of ourselves that we hate instead of building on our strengths. And when we are faced with setbacks and obstacles, we get really discouraged and often give up on ourselves. This applies not only to ourselves, but also to other people. When someone annoys us or gets on our nerves, we start thinking about how they need to change. But the truth is, we can't change others, and it's okay to let them go if they don't change. That doesn't mean that you are a bad person. It just means that you value your mental health and well-being enough not to waste your time on people who bring you nothing but pain. So if you relate to this, here are 7 signs that it is time to stop trying to change someone for your own mental health. Number 1. You have constantly crossed the boundary between good and bad. Imagine that you have crossed the boundary between good and bad so many times you no longer know where you stand. This happens when we try too hard to please other people and make them happy. We begin to lose sight of our own needs and wants, and we end up doing things that we don't even want to do. We may even start to feel resentful or angry towards the other person because we feel like we are being taken advantage of. If this is happening to you, it's time to take a step back and reevaluate your relationship with this person. Ask yourself if they are really worth the constant stress and anxiety that they are causing you. Most of the time, the answer will be no. And when we stop allowing people to treat us badly, they will be shocked because they are used to us always giving in to their demands. Number 2, they always deny any wrongdoing. Have you ever tried to talk to someone about their bad behavior? Maybe you've tried to explain how their actions are affecting you or other people. How did they respond? Did they listen to what you had to say, or did they just deny everything? If they always deny any wrongdoing, then they are probably not going to change. No matter how much effort you put into trying to convince them otherwise, they will always find a way to justify their actions. The best thing you can do in this situation is to accept that they are not going to change and move on. Don't waste your time trying to fight an unwinnable battle. Number 3, they never apologize. Similar to the previous point, if the person never apologizes, it is a clear sign that they are not going to change. An apology is an acknowledgement that what they did was wrong. If they don't even think that they've done anything wrong, then there is no hope of them changing. Accept that they're not going to apologize and move on. Don't waste your time waiting for something that will never happen. Number 4, you keep making excuses for them. Are you always making excuses for them? Do you find yourself constantly trying to explain their behavior to other people? If you are always trying to make excuses for someone, it is a clear sign that you are not getting through to them. And the more excuses you make, the more you are enabling their bad behavior. You are essentially telling them that it is okay to continue doing what they are doing, because you will be there to clean up the mess. If you don't want to keep making excuses for them, then it's time to stop trying to change them. Accept that they are not going to change and move on. Don't waste your time trying to fight an unwinnable battle. Number 5, you feel like you are losing yourself. When we spend too much time with someone, we tend to pick up on their mannerisms and behaviors. If you feel like you are losing yourself, it may be a sign that you are not being true to who you are. Take some time to reflect on whether or not you are still being true to yourself. If you realize that you are not, it may be time to make some changes. This could mean spending less time with this person or setting some boundaries. Remember that it's okay to put yourself first sometimes. If you don't take care of yourself first, you won't have anything left to give to anyone else. Number 6, you are always walking on eggshells around them. Do you always feel like you're walking on eggshells around this person? Are you always afraid of what they might say or do next? If so, it's time to stop trying to change them and start taking care of yourself. You deserve to be happy and healthy, and that includes protecting your mental health. Don't be afraid to set boundaries with this person. Let them know that their behavior is unacceptable and that you won't tolerate it anymore. If they don't change, then let them go. There are plenty of other people in the world who would be happy to treat you the way you deserve to be treated. And number 7, they have shown no interest in changing. Have you ever tried to talk to this person about their behavior? Maybe you've tried to explain how their actions are affecting you or other people. If you've tried and they've shown no interest in changing, then it's time to stop trying to change them. Trying to change someone who has no interest in changing is like trying to push a boulder up a hill. It's just not worth the effort. Let them go and focus your energy on people who are willing to work on themselves. Trying to change someone is a thankless task. You may think that you are helping them, but in reality, you are only wasting your time. These 7 signs are surefire ways to tell if it's time to stop trying to change someone. If you see these signs in yourself, take a step back and reassess the situation. It may be time to let go of your efforts to change this person and focus on taking care of yourself instead. Don't waste any more time trying to fix someone who doesn't even want to be fixed. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. Thanks for watching and take care.